let's run through. Can I steal that? Let's run through a few listings just to show you, because I think it's good to practice this. So here in San Diego, I just did a search last week for businesses for sale on Biz Buy Sell, which I think is probably the best of the worst sites. And so if you go to the page on Biz Buy Sell, I say I want an established business. I could also choose startups, which I hate, or asset sales or franchises, real estate or classifieds, but I'm going to choose established businesses. I want a service business because I find them to be the easiest to do these kinds of deals with. I want it to be in California, located in San Diego. I want it to have cash that it's earning of more than $200,000 a year. And I'm hiding home-based businesses. Why? Yeah, I don't want to buy a job. Absolutely. So then I search, and I've got 14 results. So 14 results. And good old Rick Carlson here. And I mean, if you come up here and look at this, this guy has had a lot of drinks in his time. I mean, somehow he sold 129 businesses and has 11 listed, but probably because he went out for drinks with them. And then let's just take a look. So the first one is HVAC. I don't really like that business. Why might I not like an HVAC business? Owner dependent. Owner dependent, yep.
Labor intensive.
Labor intensive.
And licensing.
Licensing, all three correct. And one more reason.
You need a vehicle to get there.
What did you say?
Hard to scale outside the geo.
Hard to scale, yeah. Also, it's cyclical, because like normally, like if their business can frequently be subject to new home starts, right? So that's.
If they're on the new construction, if they're on the service side, and if they've got it built, they can usually manage. But then they've got peaks in the summer months in California.
Exactly, yeah, highly cyclical, right? Okay, so let's choose a business, and this is kind of a comical listing to me, and I want you to tell me why. But let's choose the pest control business and look at it. It's $1,850,000 a year. There's a couple others on here, but I'm gonna look first at the pest control business. So can you guys see this well enough to tell me things that you see that might be interesting about this?
Stock photos?
They're all stock photos.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and can you always tell a stock photo? I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't you use a real one? But they all use stock photos. So what we should do is list businesses for people who we want to buy, so that they're right. I thought I was helping you. Okay. So other than the stock photo, what do you guys see?
That's a big multiple.
Big multiple. What's the multiple?
This is cash flow. They don't show EBITDA.
Yep.
3x. Yeah. That's earnings.
Okay, so a few things. Down here in the corner, hiding, lurking, is Hal. Hal Jank is the broker on this, so it's a brokered listing. So I don't like it already because Hal's there. But Hal doesn't look like he's had as many drinks as that other guy. So it's a broker listing, so I just put that on the left side. And then it is in San Diego. Thankfully, they tell me in advance that it's got good books. So I'm just going to trust them, right? So it's a location match. Up there in the green, you see that also offers seller financing. So that's kind of interesting. So they're telling us in advance that, that they might be willing to carry back some paper for us. And then looking in the little box here, we see that the multiple is a 3.1. Now we know they're talking about cash flow, so we don't know if that's SDE or EBITDA or something else that they just made up. But allegedly, it's cash flowing about 600 grand. What do we think of the multiple? We don't know yet because we don't really know what the multiple is based on, right? It's a multiple of cash flow, which isn't something we have a lot of data on, but it's not crazy high, and it's also not a great deal. It's got a 21-year operating history because it was started in 1999, so that's kind of cool because we know that it's been around for a long time. It has a lease. They say they've got a rent for $1,300 a month, so that tells us they probably don't own any real estate. And they are including furniture. FF&E is furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Sometimes you'll see PP&E, which is property, plant, and equipment. But they're including that. So basically the equipment to make the business go plus the inventory is included in the price. And then if we go through the listing, they tell us that about the cash flow again. They say that sales for 2019 are up from 2018. Is that good?
How much? How much?
How much, right? It's undetermined whether it's good, because the problem is that a lot of times they will finagle the financial statements to look good in the year that they're selling, so it looks like that it's an up, and there's all kinds of things when we get to due diligence I'll share with you as to how people do that. So it's undetermined. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I don't know, but it definitely want to look. Doesn't really tell me anything. But the great news is that this business is SBA pre-approved by a broker of Sunbelt. What does that mean? Absolutely freaking nothing, right? Congratulations, your business broker has looked at this and decided that it might be good for an SBA loan, but has no power or authority or anything else. No experience is required. That could be good if you wanted a job, but it tells you that you're buying a job here. Owner will train. That's nice. Very generous of them. Now, this is where brokers get in the way. How much is the business? $1,850, right? We know the seller's going to finance, and these guys say you have to have a 1.2 million net worth. Should you have to have a 1.2 million net worth? Can you think of any formula that determines? That's pulled out of his butt, right? Pulled out of his butt, and stupid, because anybody that maybe I've got $1 million net worth, I can buy this daggone business. I can get an SBA loan for 75% of it and come up with the down other than that, and the seller's going to carry something. What a stupid thing to say, right?
Sales prevention department.
Sales Prevention Department, yes, SPD. So in addition to having that net worth, I also need to have $400,000 of liquidity and whatever a good credit score is. So that's just, again, like the pre-approved SBA loan. Dumb. Don't like you, Hal. Seller will carry a note of $200,000. Great. So now we know what they're pre-committed to carry. And he tells you the interest rate at 6%. And it's for a determined period of time, because most notes are forever, right? I mean, come on, guys, right? And then the owner will stay on in a part-time capacity, but here's the bad news. You got to get a license, which I think Jason or somebody mentioned, right? So those are some things to think about on this listing. And then I go through again the inventory, just to confirm it was listed in the thing, looked like it was included, but it is for sure included. We do in fact have a lease. And look at the giant space that we have to expand our new business into. We have 600 square feet, right? A large bathroom. Now, I do like 10 employees.
Each of them has 60 square feet.
I do like 10 employees because why? Somebody to run a business, right? Hopefully.
Where are they, in trucks?
Hopefully. Well, that's a good question. Now, here's the good news. I didn't realize this because I thought that there were like a billion pest control companies, but it turns out there are few competitors in the marketplace. So, congratulations. It's probably because San Diego is only in the top 10 largest cities in the country, right? The owner will train for 4 weeks and then part-time up to 6 weeks. So again, the owner's basically going to check out. Now, it concerns me because the business has been around since 1999, and I don't know about what is their predictable selling system. How are they acquiring customers? It's probably word of mouth, and the owner's been servicing all the accounts. So when the owner goes, is 4 weeks or 6 months enough time to transfer the goodwill that this person's built up over all that time? It's probably not. So I would look for this business to drop in half within a year or two of buying it. Okay, so let's do the analysis.
You missed the last one, which is funny too.
That he's got a yard.
Oh, the reason for selling. Yeah, this is very, very informative. Reason for selling. Why are you selling? It's personal. Okay. Or maybe he means it like, Rambo, it's personal, right? So let's do some quick analysis here. We look at the purchase price. It was $1,850,000. Want to see what this deal would look like. They said that they would carry back $200,000. We could get an SBA 7A loan at 75%. This is probably the worst deal that we would ever do to get SBA. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of ways to not have to do that. But that means that we could fund $1,387,500 there, which would leave a shortfall, which we would need to come up with, of $262,500. And that's why you need to have a net worth of $400,000 liquid, because it's. He told you in the thing, I'm just sorry, I can't help but beat up on business brokers. He told you in the thing that it's pre-qualified for SBA. SBA is 75%. Seller is going to do 200K down. We only need 262.5. Why wouldn't you say you need to be liquid 300 instead of 400? Anyway, so 262.5 is what we need to come up with. The cash flow, they say, whether that's EBIT or SDE, we don't know, but apparently there's cash of 596,000. So let's say that we get this 10% loan and we fund with the seller. So the footnote here says that if you do your amortization schedule over 7 years at 10%, 100% amortization of $1,387,500, that amount borrowed, that's a $23,000 a month payment or $276,000 a year. I'm just showing you that these numbers, where they come from. Plus, we did seller financing of $200,000. Same deal, let's say. He said 6%. I'm just going to say 10%, 7 years. That's $3,300 a month or $39,000. You add those together and it comes up to $316,253 a year that it costs you to service the debt. But at the end of the 7 years, you own it. The debt goes away. So that's kind of cool. And it clearly carries that. Plus, you have free cash flow of $279,747 or $23,000 a month. So it's not bad. I mean, if you want to go around and spray for bugs and stuff, you know, to get paid 23 grand a month for it, assuming that the business would stay there once you bought it, that could be kind of cool. Our ROI on that deal would be 106.5%. Let's say that we install a manager. Glassdoor says 84K for that person. The ROI on that then, after deducting that, would still be 74.6% in year one, and then higher as you hopefully built the business. Listing 2, look at that stock photo. Fire sprinkler business. Why would I not want to buy a fire sprinkler business?
You come back to the same stuff for the HVAC, the contractor, the labor, the work comp and all the other stuff and licensing, but
Liability.
Two more reasons to me is fire. What if my thing doesn't work? It's like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If my thing doesn't work, then your building burns down. What if my thing works when it's not supposed to? I flood your building, right? So there's that liability insurance and insurance costs. So that's something to think about too. So if we do a quick analysis here, we know that this time we've got John Avram as our broker. So broker listing, don't like that, but it is in San Diego, so that's cool, matches our location. Got that magic green thing that says seller financing again. And if we look in the little box, they're asking $925, cash flows $380. Interesting, they've got gross revenue of $1.4 million, something we didn't know, I think, last time. NVA on the inventory, NA on the inventory. So I don't know if that's just not available, that like they don't know how much inventory they have, or it kind of concerns me that they don't, right? Maybe it all burned up. The multiple's not bad, it's 2.4, so that's kind of cool. That's within our range. It also, coincidentally, has a 21-year history. And they're including, I think, FF&E. It just says there's FF&E of furniture, fixtures, and equipment of 40 grand. We'll confirm that when we dive in a little bit more.
Where were they operating out of? There was no lease?
It says San Diego. You're right. There's no lease. It must be a virtual company. Who knows, right? So here's when was this formed?
99.
So how many years if you do math there?
21.
Okay.
They say 10.
But they say 10 years. So my question, is this an 11-year-old listing? Right? It might be, right? You never know. You might never know. But I do know that this guy, John over here, is maybe not that great at doing listings or math or something. So there's hope for us, right? So this is the revenue mix. 56% new construction, 41% TIs, tenant improvements, 3% service. If it was the other way around, I might be interested, but the new construction thing scares the heck out of me, okay? And the TIs are usually related to new expanding businesses, as opposed, especially if you're installing fire sprinklers. That's not something you're like, you move into a building and you're like, you know what I need, landlord? I need new fire sprinklers, right? That's how I'm gonna use my allowance. So now this means that it was not really a fully San Diego business. So I'm not terribly excited because I know that San Bernardino and Riverside counties are about an hour and a half from here. So that means there's all kinds of people going out of San Diego there. And then it says it has consistent annual revenue over the last 4 years above $1 million. I'm not excited by the owner being the person that's running it, but they have 8 full-time non-union employees. Tell me what you think about this. What do you think about this box here?
Top line revenues are the same way, SDE is declining.
Okay, yeah, that's a little concerning, right? 2016, 4 years ago, we were doing $1.4 million. We got 80,000 more, then we dropped down a couple hundred grand, and now we're back where we started, but it's estimated, so we don't know that that's actually true. And this is kind of troubling. 444 to 357 to 247 on, down to 380, but we're going to come back to 380 despite the downward trend. So, this is, when you're selling, you hate for your business to look like this. So this is something that would cause me to very much think that they might be goosing those numbers on the last year.
Downside of the hockey stick.
Exactly. We did verify that the 40K in FF&E is included. Now we know that the owner's retiring, so the owner should be very motivated, so we do like that, right? There were, seller owns the building. Okay, well that's cool. That means
That's for only 40,000, so.
that was FF&E, but didn't include the building. So that's FF&E is usually a different category than real estate on the financial statement, but it's a good thing to observe. So that tells us that we might be able to say, we could just buy the building with this business and then maybe get a loan on the building that would cover the whole deal, right? And frequently, because buildings, real estate, accountants are historical people, so they record the value of the real estate at the acquisition price. So depending on how savvy they are as to market conditions, you may be able to pick up a business where the real estate, they're not really paying attention to the value of it if it's included in the company, and it's increased enough that the loan that you could get on it will cover more than you might think. And they'll offer a fair market lease of $1,500 a month. So that might be good, might not be good. But if they're going to give me $1,500, number one, I'm going to verify that it's a fair market lease, and number two, I want to find out what's the term of that lease going to be, because I want to be sure I'm going to not have switching costs, relocation costs. And the current business philosophy has been to remain manageably small. That's a really great way of saying we can't grow this. Due to the owner's age and planning for retirement, the company does no marketing, and proud of it. And all customer acquisition is done through word of mouth referrals. That's concerning, right? The owner's retiring. And but good news, a strategic marketing plan along with the salesperson and offers significant growth opportunities. So we've got that to look forward to, which is nice. Sellers retiring and offering training. So analyzing this, $925 purchase price. We'll seller finance $138,750, SBA 75%, down payment would be $92,500. We know our cash flow is $380,000. If we do that amortization of those two loans, the annual payment would be $165,845, which would give us free cash of $214,000. So $17,000 a month. Not terribly bad, 231% return on our money. Even if we put a manager in, we're making 140% on our money a year. So what's that, 9 months in, we've got our money back.
Does that include the lease?
That would include the lease because they would have deducted that to determine what the cash flow was, right? I think they called it EBITDA.
If you want a lot of additional really cool stuff, I've got a whole channel full of it, and you should subscribe so that you don't miss any of it, because I'm uploading videos all the time. There's a lot of things that are changing in this area, and you don't want to miss out. You don't want to do it wrong, and you don't want to make the mistakes I made. Subscribe so that you don't miss out, and then check out this next video.